Welcome to episode 5 of Where in the World, Season 4, a detailed showcase of cities and locations that have been visited in the Arcane Adventures campaign setting. For Season 4, we follow the story as it unfolds as we journey across Mount Celestia, the realm of the Seven Heavens. As always, we have a map on screen that details the general location of the place we are talking about during today's episode, so that you can follow along with us as we explore. Let's jump right into episode 5 of season 4, Where in the World? The Lotus Garden. The windswept coast of Solonia are heavily obscured by fog, but here, on one particular coast that rises quite high, we find ourselves over a sea of clouds. Two distinct coasts, actually, both of which are inhabited, are elegantly and beautifully covered in vines and flowers. It's almost difficult to remember the actual structures here. A collection of small cottages and glass-domed greenhouses make it clear that this is intended to look like a shrine to nature. An elegant glass-covered bridge connects the two coast peaks together, a grass pathway atop it, unifying the two sides of the Lotus Garden. The Lotus Garden serves as both a resemblance of nature and as a monastery. It also serves as a point of rest and recovery, and also of learning, all of which we will get into very shortly. But first, from the outside, the Lotus Garden is full of green-covered balconies and garden walkways. Collections of celestial and prime flowers grow in carefully tended plots. On the opposite peak as the entrance, a small crystal pond that wells up from a natural spring proceeds to cascade over the edge and waterfalls down the coast. Often, as the fog rolls through just below the Lotus Garden's pinnacle, a rainbow can be seen in the mist. Also, on this very coast peak, the larger of the two, an ancient oak tree rises higher than even the top of the tallest glass dome greenhouse. The tree is said to have stood here since the Lotus Garden was founded, which, like many other places on Celestia, must be thousands and thousands of years old. Now looking inwards, the people of this location come here for a variety of reasons. Some are here to learn the peaceful ways of nature, some are travelers seeking rest and healing, and others are healers continuing their practice even in the afterlife. Whatsoever their reason for being in attendance, they all must follow one rule, a vow of silence while on monastery grounds. The silence allows people to hear nature more clearly, the rushing of the water, the gentle breeze in the trees, the birds flying overhead. It also helps one to train their mind, to communicate via actions, and for some, even to develop telepathic abilities. Of course, there is one small deck below the waterfall, called Chatter Point, in which the vow of silence may be broken and actual talking can be achieved. The glass-domed greenhouses, of which there is a large, a medium, and a small one, grow various fruits and flowers from across many realms, including both Mount Celestia and the Material Prime. Stepping into one of these greenhouses is often referred to as a walk through a different realm, though the entire Lotus Garden could be said of the same. The small cottages provide small rooms for communal living, where 5 to 6 or even 7 people may share a small space. The total population of the monastery is never more than 100 at any given point, providing ample room to store the people that stay here. The gentle breeze overhead, the rustling of the leaves of the ancient oak, and the swaying of the vines that dangle from the bridge provide a cool summer air in this place at all times. A layer of dense fog, like said before, lies below, concealing the considerable drop down to the rest of Solania, which makes the Lotus Garden appear that much more ethereal in nature. A number of deities even have small shrines here dedicated to them, like Bahamut, Lepelon, and Moradin. And even some deities that do not reside on Mount Celestia or call the mountain their home also have small altars here, such as Anaris and Mela. No one person is ever truly in charge of the Lotus Garden. It is simply a communal area for those who wish to attend. High Archon Sophia, the High Archon of Solania, does visit the Lotus Garden every so often to make sure that everything is okay, but otherwise the monastery is left to be run by the people that choose to work there. The only way to the Lotus Garden is up a narrow and winding road that climbs and spirals up several karst until you cross a bridge, and voila, you're here. Heading back down this very road leads travelers back to the manor of Arakanor, where they can further return to Ouroboros. We hope you've enjoyed this closer look at the Lotus Garden and have found the details about it to your interest. The peaceful and calm presence of nature is, as many other places on Celestia are, simply divine. That's all for this episode of Where in the World. We'll see you next time.